Good morning, Facebook fam. It's right about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm awake and getting ready to head to the gym for about 2 more hours, which is pretty much a daily ritual. I wanted to stop by to share a little bit of wisdom with those who may possibly be interested in receiving some wisdom. What I'm going to talk about today is power versus leadership. Many people today, and especially in organizations like the military, fail to understand the subtle differences between power and leadership. Power is position centered. People respect the position that you hold without necessarily having any respect for you. They more are afraid of what you can do to them based on the position that you hold more than they respect who you are as a person. On the other hand, in order to be an effective leader, you must be able to influence people. Power is position centered. Influence is person centered. People follow you regardless of the position that you hold. They have respect for you as a person. So they follow you and you can get them to move. And not only can you get them to move, but they are glad to move. Let me give you a prime example of the difference between power and influence. Power is what a police officer has when he turns his lights on behind you. You have no idea who this person is. Probably never seen him before in your life. You're not pulling your car over because you have respect for who this person is. You're pulling your car over because you fear what could happen if you don't pull your car over. That's power. Influence is like when a politician tells you, I need your vote. I need you to take time off your job. I need you to figure out how to get a babysitter. I need you to go out of your way to go stand in line at the poll, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, whatever. I need you to interrupt your life, interrupt your day to go down to the polling place and cast your vote. That's influence. Now, if you choose not to go, there's nothing that politician can do to you. But you'll notice that a person who takes their time to go and vote are happy to go and vote. And it may take way more time out of their day to go and vote than it takes for you to pull over and receive a ticket, which might take you about 5 or 10 minutes, depending on what type of attitude that the policeman is in. So the point is, you want to develop as a leader influence instead of exercising power. Because when you exercise power over people, they simply gonna do just enough not to get fired. Just enough so that you cannot punish them or penalize them. Whereas If you influence people, they will gladly go above and beyond to accomplish the mission, which is a good thing for both them and you as a leader. Now, I'm going to give you a prime example of something that recently happened in my military career that shows the difference between power and leadership. Recently, right before I took over the position, the matter of fact, the week before I took over the position as the head of airspace management and airspace defense here at Division at the 82nd Airborne, a soldier received a DUI. Now, most so-called leaders and the conventional wisdom was when I took this position and I was presented with this situation was that I should just simply throw the soldier under the bus. Don't worry about going back and seeing, how well he's been soldiering prior to this one indiscretion. Throw the soldier under the bus. He was a specialist, so he probably would have ended up with 45 days extra duty, 45 days restriction, probably busted from E4 down to E1 or E2, among the other myriad of foolishness and waste of time that could have gone on. But I went back and I looked over this soldier's record. He's been a stellar soldier. He's a PT stud. He's an all-around tactically and technically proficient soldier who simply made a mistake. But here's where the difference between power and leadership comes in. Because I am a true leader, I look at what is both best for the Army and best for the soldier. Is it best for me to throw this soldier under the bus? Or is it best for me to take the responsibility to build this soldier into a non-commissioned officer? I chose the latter. So, despite all the conventional wisdom, which any of you out there who are in the military already know what I'm talking about, I said I went to commander. I made my case. So instead of this soldier ended up wasting 45 days on extra duty, wasting 45 days of restriction, losing half his rank, losing half his paycheck, the soldier ends up with a general letter of reprimand, which will be placed in his local file. So in other words, he basically got a counseling statement, and if he don't get in no more trouble, when he leaves the 82nd Airborne Division, that counseling statement will stay right here and will not affect the rest of his career. And I am preparing this soldier to go to the soldier of the quarter board. I'm preparing this soldier to get ready to go to WLC. I'm preparing this soldier to be a leader. You see, the easy thing would have been for me simply to throw the soldier under the bus, wipe my hands of it, and take no responsibility. That's the easy thing to do. And those of us who wear this uniform know that that's usually what happens. But that's not the route that I took. Now you tell me, as a leader, you're talking about being able to influence a soldier. What type of respect do you think that soldier has for me at this point? When he knows that I could have hung him, when he knows that conventional wisdom was that he would have gotten hung. But I stepped in And instead of kicking him while he was down, I talked to him about how to overcome the challenge that he was facing and be able to serve himself and the military in a more excellent fashion. People, that's what leadership is all about. That is what it's all about. At the end of the day, we sit back, we read all the manuals, and so many of us go out here and we chase promotions and all of this and all of that. But at the end of the day, I look down on my left side of my uniform. I got a chest full of ribbons and wings and everything else. None of that matters. What really matters is the Army a better place because you are a part of it? And what type of influence have you had on your superiors, your peers, and your subordinates? That's what it's all about. And in order to be able to make those type of tough decisions, you got to have the right kind of character. At the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to. We talk about warrior ethos. We talking about choosing the hard right over the easy wrong. But if a soldier cannot depend on you to step up and look out for their best interest in peacetime, why should that soldier expect that if you were in a firefight, you would step out from behind that Humvee if he got hit and drag him back to save his life? He can't even expect for you to step out and possibly risk being in a bad light back at the unit. So you tell me, what is this thing all about? So I'm on the way to the gym, Facebook. Those of you out there who are leaders and those of you out there who aspire to be leaders, ask yourself, do you really have the character to lead? Do you really have the character to step up and make the hard choices? Or are you going to simply be a part of the problem? A person that jump on the bandwagon? A person that's not willing to risk anything because you worried about your next promotion? Or are you going to be a leader who makes a difference? Are you going to be a leader who your people respect you as a person outside of the fact of the rank that's on your chest or the position that you hold? Do you really care about the state of the Army? Do you really care about the soldier that's inside of that uniform as a person? Because I'm here to tell anybody who aspires to be a leader, especially in the military, it ain't just business. It's personal. If your soldier's well-being is not personal to you, if you're not uncomfortable when they're uncomfortable, if you're not hungry when they're hungry, you'll never be a leader. You'll simply be a person that's placed in a position of power. And that's the world, according to Sarn Hess. Y'all have a wonderful morning.